Hello, lovely friend. I am Dr. Mary Barson.
And I'm Dr. Lucy Burns.
And this is the Real Health and Weight Loss Podcast. Hello, lovely friend. Welcome to our podcast today. Dr. Mary here, and I am joined in our virtual studio by the fabulous and wonderful, very clever, very talented Dr. Lucy. How are you, lovely Lucy?
Well, after that intro, how could I be anything but good? It is always nice to know that there is a champion in your pocket, a doctor in your pocket, actually, who is championing your just well-being. So thank you, my love.
That's good. No worries.
It is. It is. We all need our own cheer squad.
Mm.
Excellent. So, no, I'm great. I am really great. Christmas is upon us, a bit over a week. Santa's descending down the chimney. All of that rah-rah. So I'm great. What about you, my love?
Yeah, I'm good. It is a busy time of year. By the time this goes out, I would have finally gotten the other side of the 1,000,005 dance concerts and recitals that we do at the end of the year with my beautifully gorgeous, fantastic, fun, talented child who loves to sing and dance, and children who love to sing and dance do a lot of singing and dancing in December.
Indeed. Indeed.
It's all good fun, and I've been been volunteering at concerts and driving her around and putting makeup on my child, which is low grade terrifying, and all of those things. And yes, Christmas is coming in a little over a week.
Indeed, and I'm also expecting that you have purchased your 4-foot Christmas tree and decorated it by now.
Yes, that has been a we got a big one. I caved to the tyrannical pressure from the 11-year-old, and it is up, and it's done, and it's beautiful, and it's dropping pine needles all over my floor, and yeah, less said about that the better, probably.
Okay. All right. Well, today, my lovely friend, I thought we'd talk to you about some tips and tricks that you can use for the next kind of 2 weeks of Christmas, because honestly, it's where the food season starts ramping up, and many of you have probably already been navigating Christmas parties and work functions and, extra barbecues and whatnot. But we thought we'd just give you some mindset tools that you can implement and make Christmas both a time of joy, fun, but also not a time where you're just on a bender doing all the things.
That's right. Yep. You can find a calm balance through multiple ways. There's not just one way to navigate Christmas. There are lots of ways to do it, and you can really be calm, be happy, enjoy your food, and stay true to your health goals, stay true to your values. It's totally possible. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It's not like have fun or be healthy. Absolutely not.
No, absolutely. So, okay. So let's say, this is coming out, it's now December 17. Christmas is in 8 days, and then we've got the post-Christmas sort of bonanza. So some people's Christmas includes Boxing Day or a couple of days afterwards, all the way up even to New Year. So let's talk about some tactics or some steps that people can put in place in order to reach their goals, or at least maintain their goals. And I guess the first step, therefore, is to determine, have a little think about, well, what is your goal for the next 2 weeks? How do you want the next 2 weeks to look?
I think that's a great idea, to have an idea of what it is that you want. Do you want the next 2 weeks to be, a time where you only nourish your body with helpful and healthy foods? Or, are you happy to let that slide a little bit? Do you want to stay calm? Do you want to just let it all go and, pick up the pieces in January? Like, you are the boss of you. You can do whatever it is that you want, but having a good idea of what you actually want is useful, so you can navigate this time with intention rather than just being pulled along by expectations, by other people. Decide what you want, and then you can go for it. So make a plan.
Absolutely.
And your plan can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. The plan doesn't have to be perfect, that's for sure. And I know for lots of us, recovering perfectionists, that years and years of dieting and diet language has always talked to us about things like, having cheat days or breaking your diet or, going on a bender or falling off the wagon. They're all the sort of words and phrases that we use, but they don't have to be like that. Like, part of our focus this month has been our digital advent calendar called Santa's Little Helper, as well as our momentum toolbox. And one of the tools in the toolbox has been a downloadable, what we call the adult star chart. And that's really a way of just documenting your goals. So when we talk about that thing where you have to be, have a concept of intention, you can have a think, right, well, what would I like to achieve? Well, I'd like to eat well for, let's say, of the next 2 weeks, 10 days. So if 10 of the days I stay on my low-carb plan and I eat whole foods on those 10 days, then, yay, I've achieved my goal. Now, again, you get to then decide, well, on the 4 days that you're not on the low-carb plan, are you on a bender just eating everything in sight, or are you kind of just going, well, I'm just going to be a little more moderate and, I'm having my family Christmas and, my aunt makes the best pavlova ever. So on that day, I'm going to have a piece of pavlova and, maybe I'll have a couple of cocktails. That's quite different to going, oh my God, I'm out of, diet jail and now I'm eating everything I can grab my hands on, and sort of almost just feeling that complete out of control scoffing that can be done.
Yeah. That's right. You don't have to have an entire box of Cadbury favourites on your day off just because you're deciding to have a day off, staying perfectly on plan. That's not going to be helpful.
No. I love the concept of all or something. So, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go all in on a day that's not where you're not on your, your perfect plan. You can still be moderate. And this is a funny story that's not related to Christmas at all, but I vividly remember feeling like, oh my God, I've made it, whatever this holy grail of sort of having food freedom is, which was when we were on holidays once and we were with a group and we ordered fish and chips. And I thought I'd ordered grilled fish. And anyway, my fish came battered. And I thought, so I just ate the battered fish. I didn't really have any chips. I might have had 2. And there was a bit of a salad. And then everyone else went and got ice cream as well. And old me would have been going, oh, well, I've buggered it up now, might as well have the ice cream. And yeah. In fact, if I'm going to have ice cream, I'll have a triple and, a thick shake and whatever else I've, not had for the last 2 weeks. I'll have it all. And instead I just went, actually, I'm okay. I'm done with my one bit of fish. So you can decide at any stage exactly how it's all going to look.
Yes, absolutely. I reckon another important part of this, planning to go off plan, if you want to, is to just recognise that you might feel a bit blah, that day later on, and that, a bit of sugar can make you want to eat more sugar. And I think it's just really important to be aware of that. And that the next day in particular, you might feel a bit tired, a bit achy, and particularly sugar cravings. After having a day where you eat more sugary food, sugar cravings can wake back up again. They may be asleep while you eat low carb real food, and and that's a lovely peaceful place to be, but they could wake up again. And just being aware of that and having a bit of plan around that, I think, is helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was talking to one of my coaching clients about this exact thing this morning, where she'd had a holiday away, had probably 4 days off plan during that time, had come back from a holiday and, had some body aches and was so interested in the fact that she used to feel like this all the time but didn't notice it.
Yes.
And so we were saying it's a bit like when you've got, the air conditioner, or if you're outside, there's a pool filter going and you just tune out to it. And then it stops and you go, oh my God, it's so peaceful. This is lovely. It's so calm, peaceful. And then it starts back up again. You go, oh my God, it's so noisy. How can it be so noisy? And it's a bit like that when you reduce your carbohydrates, and particularly processed ones. You go, oh my God, my brain fog's gone, my joint pain's better, my muscles are working, I've got clear thinking, I've got so much energy, this is amazing, I can't believe it. And then you eat some sugar again or some processed carbs, and blah. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Recognize that might happen. And so when we, again, being the ex-diet lady, what I used to do was when I'd had a day like that was that then I'd go, oh, well, I've been so bad the day before, I'm not going to eat today, and kind of try and punish myself. It wasn't even necessarily punishing myself. It was more about trying to, again, in my brain, think, oh, I need to reduce my calories. I've had too many calories yesterday, so I'll balance it out with none today, and, then it'll be okay. Except it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you could be setting yourself up for a fall there. The day after, if you've had a day of sugar and the next day your insulin's going to be high, your cravings are going to be increased, your cortisol is going to be increased, all of these things are going to happen. It's probably not the time to do fasting. And also, we are strong advocates of never using fasting as a punishment or in any kind of punitive way. It should always be a loving act of nurturing. Nurture yourself with some intermittent fasting. So it's actually a great day to feed yourself. I can feed yourself really well. Even if you're a 2-meal-a-day person, that might be a time to have 3 meals, rich in protein, have some fats. Make sure you get a bit extra fluid, a bit of extra salt. Just really fill yourself up with good food. That'll help put the cravings back to sleep and help everything just get back into balance again.
Absolutely. Yes. So first step, visualize what goals do you want. Don't just be a leaf floating down the river. Be proactive in your decisions for the next 2 weeks. Second thing, if you do plan to go off plan, that's fine. You just notice that you might have some physical effects of that, and that's absolutely okay. And the part of the physical effects of that are waking cravings up. So we're going to use real food, highly satiating and delicious. Okay, again, don't forget, it is delicious. Highly satiating and delicious real food that will then just help pop, for those of you who know us well, know our analogy of Fluffy, the 3-headed Cerberus dog from Harry Potter, who in the story is asleep when the music is playing, and in our story, he's asleep when our processed carbs are low, and he wakes up when we introduce them again. And if you just have one little thing, it might be just one head waking up. But if you've had a few days or a few weeks, you might find there's 3 carb craving heads. And so again, it's about having tools and strategies to put him or it back to sleep. So that's step 2. Step 3, what else have you got for me, Maz?
I think it's, if you want to stay on plan, it's having some tips and tricks about how you're going to do that. So how are you going to navigate the potential minefield of temptation? So having a few little tips in your metaphorical tool bag there. So one, I reckon if someone comes at you, Auntie Mary, I made these, have some cookies. What are you going to do in that situation? What are you going to do for the potentially well-meaning people who want to push you to partake of the processed carbs and sugary foods with them?
Yeah, and again, I think it's about deciding, again, you're the boss of you. So, if this is a beautiful little child or someone who's really well-meaning, they've done this and they've specially bought it for you, you don't have to say to them, no, I'm not having that. I don't eat junk. You may want to say that. You may say that. Again, you're the boss of you. You can say whatever you like. Or you can, graciously accept them and then get rid of them whatever way you want. And that may be regifting, might even be composting, might even be putting them in the bin. And people go, oh, I can't put it in the bin. They've made it for me. Honestly, they don't know. Like once you've gone home with them, you can do whatever you like with them. Doesn't take away from their joy of giving it to you and your joy of receiving it. What you decide to do with it once it's home in your house is up to you. So again, you're the boss of you. You can decide whatever you like. One of the things I think is super helpful, again, noticing is our exposure to images, visions, smells, whatever it is of particular food, particularly around Christmas, where there's often the unique spices and all of those things that come with minced tarts or that cinnamon flavor or whatever it is. It might be unique to you and your images of Christmas. Recognizing that you might be able to, you may decide you don't want to have it, and you might be able to stick with that decision over a couple of exposures. But by about the fourth or the fifth exposure, you kind of feel your resolve crumbling a bit. And so one of the things is working out, can I reduce my exposure to those sorts of foods? And for me, it has been life-changing online shopping, as in supermarket shopping. I have way less exposure to marketing tricks. And so, again, at Christmas, they're everywhere. There's little chocolate hoo-has all over the place. And particularly post-Christmas, when the chocolate Santas are half price or the advent calendars are being kind of thrown out for 50 cents, your brain gets tempted and goes, oh, that's a bargain, I better get it. When really, if you don't go to the supermarket, you don't get exposure to it, you don't need to make any decisions. Now, that doesn't mean do I never, ever go to the supermarket. Of course I still go. But I've reduced my exposure so much that it's no longer an issue for me.
You've stepped away from the queue. Yep, I like it. And how could we extrapolate that particular mindset strategy for like a Christmas buffet table or a family barbecue or something like that?
Yes, I think there's a couple of ways. So first thing is to, again, you've decided your plan. Let's say, and again, you're the boss of you don't have to do this, but let's say you've decided that you want to stay on plan, that you want to continue with your low carb foods. And if you're going somewhere, well, you can bring a food product that you want to eat. So we now know that there is almost no food that you can't replicate with some sort of low carb version of it. You can make a low carb pavlova. You can make a low carb trifle. You can make low carb just about everything. You can make fancy kind of charcuterie boards. You can make fancy Christmas wreaths with, people that are very creative with cheese and salami and rosemary and all sorts of things. So it doesn't have to be that you're the negative Nancy sitting in the corner feeling like the only person here who's not partaking. You can absolutely still partake. You just bring your own versions. And honestly, what you'll find is that probably people will you might have to fight people off for it.
Yep, totally. All those things are delicious. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also I think eat around the food that's already there. I mean, meat salads they're going to be there. I mean, we're Australia. It's summer, so it's barbecues, salads, white wine in the sun. This is kind of what Christmas is like. Down here, up north, I'm told that it gets cold around this time of year, so Christmas can be quite different, I imagine.
Yeah, Santa does seem to kind of gallivant in some snow.
Yeah. It's always very strange to me imagining a cold Christmas. But yeah, your meat and veg, you can absolutely do that. And it's totally doable. It's totally doable. And eat around the food that's already there. You can absolutely partake of the veggies and the meat and the salad and leave the bread. You can have a little bit of your low carb cheesecake that you took and not eat, Auntie Sally's trifle if you want to. You absolutely can. Eat around the food, pick and choose and make it work for you.
Yep.
If that's your plan.
That's what, and the other thing to recognise, again, scarcity is a mindset. So when our brain goes, oh my God, you're never going to have this opportunity ever again. Again, there's some very deep-seated reasons why our brain goes to that, because in the past that was survival tactics when, we had very seasonal, and I'm talking about when you actually had to hunt and gather your food, not when the season was determined by, whether it's Halloween lollies or Christmas lollies. But back when we did have to hunt and gather, food, there was scarcity, and it was helpful for our survival mechanism to be able to stock up on those particular foods while they were there, because, we may be in for the lean winter. Well, in these days, there's no lean winter. There's no scarcity. We're not missing out on anything. Every single food source is available all year round. Christmas shortbreads you can buy any time of the year. They may not be in the shape of a tree, but they're still there. Christmas chocolate is there any time of the year. Scorched almonds, which I always associate weirdly with Christmas, they're also available all year round. Minced tarts, you can actually get them all year round. I don't know why, but you can. I mean, I know you're a minced tart fan, Naz. I'm not particularly. But everything. Snowballs, they used to only be at Christmas. They're all year round. Everything's available all year round. So there's actually no scarcity. So a tactic, a little mind thing that you can do is, again, it's not about denying yourself this. You can talk to yourself about the idea that, this is not my last opportunity, but I'm choosing or I'm wanting or I'm not partaking in it right now. And that can help your brain think, oh my God, I'm never, ever, ever getting it again. Because you can. You just might not choose to have it now. And then later on, you'll go, actually, I don't really want it anyway.
I love that. Just delay. That's it. Yeah. And, focus on all the other tactic is to focus on all the wonderful things of nourishing your body with good food, nourishing your body with, delicious food, and why choosing the low-carb cheesecake that is so helpful to your health. Just focus on all the wonderful good things about that, and you can really focus and think about all of the deleterious effects of having the processed carbs. That can also really help bring immediately into the short term, the reasons why you want to stay on plan and not go off plan, and make it just so much easier for your beautiful brain. It's like you cultivate a joy of missing out rather than a fear of missing out, which is so much easier.
Oh, absolutely. And I think deflecting the focus away from food at gatherings to the connection, that's really what they're about. It's about the connection with your friends, your family, people that you want to be with. And the food is the sideshow. So the main event is the connection. And so as part of that, again, practical strategies are, move yourself away from the buffet table if that's where it is. Like, I tend not to stand there. I'm one of those people that can food, I can hover, food hovering. When food is right in front of me, there are people that have food in front of them that don't seem to have any trouble not eating it. A platter of something that you pick, if that's in front of me, I have a hand that just seems to like to reach out and get whatever it is and put it in my mouth.
Yeah, it's good self-awareness there.
Yeah, I know. And it's not related to hunger. It's not necessarily even related to desire. It's just this thing that sort of seems to happen to me. And so it is a lot easier for me to not have a bowl of food in front of me or within hand's reach, because for some reason, as I said, it's like a separate being.
It'll just find its way in there.
Yeah. And again, then I spend my whole time kind of feeling like I've got to sit on my hands, and then I can't connect with anybody because I'm spending my time sitting on my hands. So if I'm not near it, it's out of my mind's, if it's out of my side of vision, what am I saying? My eyesight,
field of view,
my line of vision,
line of sight, something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
You can't see
then it makes my life easy. And don't we just want to make life easier?
Totally. That's a beautiful gold trick. There are so many things you can do over this busy time to make that right thing easy and the unhelpful thing a bit harder, and be the boss of you. Have an intention, stick to your intentions, have fun, connect, do whatever you want. But if you want to, stay on plan with your health goals, at least mostly, and you don't need to be perfect, it's absolutely doable.
Absolutely. And again, just note that if you have a slip, let's say you've decided, that you're going to stay on plan and for whatever reason that doesn't work out, again, we don't need to lose twice by then beating ourselves up about it. We want to go, okay, that wasn't what I wanted to do. What were the reasons? And maybe examine it if you want to, because, the next day is still around the corner.
That's
okay,
right.
What could I do differently? What do I need to do next?
Yep, I love it.
Perfect. All right, lovely friends. Well, we'll see you all next week with a little episode just before Christmas. So have a spectacular week and let us know how you go.
See you later, gorgeous ones. Bye.
Bye. The information shared on the Real Health and Weight Loss podcast, including show notes and links, provides general information only. It is not a substitute, nor is it intended to provide individualized medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor can it be construed as such. Please consult your doctor for any medical concerns.